What is going on, guys? TalkNorwichCity here, back for another Norwich City daily news video. Currently in my car along Yarmouth seafront. It is a beautiful day. Beach is looking lovely. First horse racing of the year down at Yarmouth. Yarmouth's a beautiful place, people. It really is. But I'm on my way to the gym today. I've got a very busy schedule, but I really wanted to check in because there's a lot of really exciting news. And I think as well as depict the bad news and stuff that's happened at Norwich City this season, I also need to balance it out with the good news as well. I feel that is my duty to bring people the good news as well, and it is all about this Stuart Webb interview. It was on Along Came Norwich, which is the one I'm going to be, reading and reciting off. And there was also one of my football writer. First of all, I want to say just how lucky we are as fans to have such good fan sites and also journalists bringing us news and everything every day. There's not many clubs that you would be able to go to a fan site and be able to look at the new head of football or whatever Stuart Webber is, director of football, director of sport, whatever name he wants to put. He's a legend in my books, and be able to read an interview. So first of all, big up to Along Come Norwich and my football writer for bagging them interviews, and also the media team at Norwich for letting them do that. But Stuart Webber went to he's done an interview basically, and I've got a notepad in my bag where I've written all of the best bits down on there. Let me get a notebook. There we go. I'm going to link it in the description, so go and over and read it. It's like it took me about 15 minutes to read because I'm a very slow reader, but it's a very long interview. Basically started with the players that we need to bring in, the players that we need to let go, and a really key point that I took from this Stuart Webber interview is that he said the squad needs to be cut down. It's too big, and that's something I've been kind of looking at this season and not being able to pinpoint what I'm thinking, but I was like, yes, that is what I wanted to say, that our squad is too big because we've got like 4 central attacking midfielders and they can't all get in. We've all been saying, oh, why isn't Maddison getting in the squad? Why isn't Maddison getting in the squad? Well, it's because he's got 3 better players ahead of him in Naismith, Pritchard and Houlihan. We don't need all of them players. So I've been arguing on the podcast like, oh, I really want to keep Naismith, really want to keep Naismith. Actually, do we really need him here? Do we need that, I don't know, 40k, whatever he's on the wage bill? I don't know. We need to cut the squad down. That was a key thing. He also touched on the wage bill. Obviously, that will naturally come down with the amount of players that leave. He was talking about 10 to 15 players leave, and naturally, we're going to have 5 or 6 players leave who are out of contract. Sebastian Bassong, Michael Turner, Kyle Lafferty, them kind of players who don't even get in the squad. But cumulatively, we'll be earning a lot of money at this football club. The things I really wanted to kind of touch on, though, with Stuart Webber is, everyone can say what players they want to bring in, what players they want to go out, but I think all Norwich City fans will all have the same opinion when it comes to atmosphere. And atmosphere at Norwich City Football Club, at Carrow Road, needs to be better. I can remember going to Carrow Road like when I was like 6, 7, I didn't have a season ticket or anything, and I always used to be blown away by the atmosphere. I'm not sure if it was because I was small or because, naturally you're going to be going in and you're like, wow, this is big when you're very small, but it's just poor at the moment. Even like last time in the Championship, it was great. Away support was great. We actually touched on this in the podcast about atmosphere, what can we do? But Stuart Webber really seems to be addressing this, and there was a fantastic line in the Along Come Norwich interview with Stuart Webber, and it basically said, surely we've got young people out there who want to go to the games, want to get a bit giddy and want to get drunk. I'm not sure if they're the exact words, but he was like, just want to get a little bit drunk, want to have a sing-song. We need more of that culture. Now, I'm not saying we turn 26,000 people into raging alcoholics and want to just fight everyone, but at the same time, we do need to get up for it. We do need to, chant loud, and we can't rely on the players to get behind the team, because if we're supporting Norwich City and we're relying on winning games to have a good atmosphere, we're not going to be singing much in a season. So we need to just get behind the boys. Stuart Webber's addressed that. He said he thought the atmosphere, in his words, was crap when he came and we were winning games. He was like, we've scored 13 goals in 3 games and we still can't seem to get up for it. That's poor, which is absolutely brilliant. He also, which I think he's already nailed already, better communication. I think the club have actually, to be fair to them, been fairly decent, except for the Alex Neil thing, but that was a very difficult and sensitive situation. We need to nail the communication points. We need to communicate better between the board and the fans. Like he said, the fans don't have to agree, but they just need to know what's going on. And I think that's a great point. You know, fans aren't going to agree on the decisions that are going to be made by the club. It's just, you know, some people are going to agree, some people aren't. That's life. But the least the club could do is communicate their reasoning behind these decisions and everything like that. And, you know, Stuart Webb, a lot of people saying, well, he's talked the talk, but is he going to walk the walk? For me, look, yeah, we need to be slightly realistic about this and not get too excited. But naturally, when good things start to happen after a bad time, you're going to get excited. And I think Stuart Webb is doing that. But I think Stuart Webb is already walking the walk. He said he's coming here. Things are stale. He's wanted to switch things up. He's already sacked 3 members of staff. One of them being Ricky Martin, who's been here for 16 years. That's not an easy thing to do. I'm not like having, you know, disrespecting Ricky Martin here, because losing a job at a club, at a business where you've worked for 16 years, naturally is going to be tough. But at the same time, he wasn't doing his job properly. So he got sacked. Simple as that. You know, Jez Moxey came in, didn't do that. Dave McNally didn't do that. Stuart Webb has come in and gone, yeah, these 3 aren't doing their jobs, see you later. It's going to be the same with the players. When the summer transfer window comes, we're going to see a lot of players go out. Hopefully we're going to see a lot of players come in. And the last point of thing I'm going to talk about, look, go and read the interview, links in the description, is that he said we need to incorporate the youth players better, considering how much money we've invested in the academy, considering our academy and first team train at the same place, which isn't the case for all football clubs. The link between the academy and the first team isn't good enough. And that needs to be better. And he said especially we need to look at the long-term plan for these players, because the likes of James Maddison, we sent out on loan, he had a good loan spell, then we brought him back in and he's played 14 minutes of first team football. You either leave him out on loan, keep him doing good things, or bring him back and play him every week, because you can't bring him back and then not play him. It's a hindrance in development. So that was a poor move from Norwich, I think, although I think we might have got away with it because Maddison is a great player. And he said we need more loan spells like the Murphys had. One went to MK Dons, one went to Coventry. Both had great times, came back here, ripped up this season. We need to do that more, and we also need to give the young players more of a chance and just give them more space, because like he said about cutting the squad down, if you've got 25 first team players, you are naturally not going to be able to fit another 3, 4, 5 youth players in there and give them the chance that they deserve. So cut down the first team players. Got to keep them good though. Got to keep them good quality, and then allow the young players to come in and bed in. So that is basically the key points I took from it: atmosphere, youth players, recruitment, culling of the first team, basically that. And I'm buzzing about Stuart Webb. But also, going to throw this in here at the end. Apparently, Norwich are eyeing up Gary Monk, although it has been reported by the Mirror. That was basically the only news of today. Stuart Webb and also Gary Monk apparently were eyeing up, but that just seems like paper talk, because it's the natural thing to do, to link teams that have bottled the playoffs with teams that need a manager, basically. Anyway, this has been far too long. Go and check out the interview, hit subscribe, hit like. Thanks very much for watching, and also let me know your thoughts on Stuart Webber. Peace out.